All right, welcome back. So, getting the computer charged up so that I can get the ESC tuned and I can get the receiver mounted up and get my wire management all cleaned up. So that's what I'm working on now. Sensor wire is gonna have to be tied up. I'm gonna zip tie up these wires so they're a little cleaner, but that's after I get the receiver box all dialed in. And gotta put some zip ties back on this. I got the back on, so that's all buttoned up. We're gonna go ahead and add my zip ties back in here for the motor fan wires. Until I can get this receiver box, mount it back up at the top. This used to be the sound kit bracket. The sound kit was up here, the receiver was down in here, and I relocated it when I put the bigger ESC in there. I did have to run some spacers here for this because of the bar. So that's just the mounting bracket to relocate your receiver to the top. And the receiver wires can go in here. This is a bracket for the sound kit. And then all I did was the sound kit would mount off these two screws. I drilled holes in the bracket to mount the receiver box up there. So it was just for me, a better place to put this receiver box. So just drilling a couple holes in the bracket and then using the screws to tap the plastic to hold this receiver box down, because the two sound kit holes didn't work. Getting the computer fired up because I can't mount the receiver, can't close it up until I look at this. I need access to the ESC signal wire. Yeah, that definitely's got dirt all over it. So let's get this thing tuned up and see what's going on with this thing. I'm going to bring the computer to the front now. Bring the castle link to the center. Time to call the support desk. Oh, wrong way. There we go, we're flashing green. A new version of beta firmware is available. If you wish to upgrade to the latest beta firmware, go to the software tab and press upload firmware. Let's see, software. What software do we have in here? So we have, oh yeah, we're at V2.02, and we have a V2.06 beta. So let me update, because this ESC is really old. Update complete. Update firmware. Do not disconnect the device or power. Would you like to proceed? Yes. So it's updating. I already have that downloaded since the last time I logged on to Castle Link. I have an update in the computer already. So we're just going to update this real quick. Like I said, this is an old ESC that I got from Gap Reviews with a Limitless, and it probably was never updated when it was purchased. So we're just going to update it real quick, and then I'm going to go in. I do want to add my drag brake back to this car because of the way I run it. I like the drag brake on it. It does make it difficult to jump an RC, but when racing, for me, it helps because I could just let off the trigger, and instead of having to try to modulate the brake, I just let off into neutral and it'll drag it down so I can make turns. And it's cutting down on my reaction time on the controller, which is making me faster. It's just something I learned way back in the day when running the Slash over and over. So let's check software. It's all done. Now we're at the V2.06. So we're going to go ahead and get you guys down, and we're going to go over the whole thing. Be right back. All right, so right here, I'm moving the mounts. This is the basic. Voltage cutoff is auto lipo. It's going to auto cut. Lipo volts per cell. When it drops to 3.2 volts a cell, it's going to cut. With reverse, BEC voltage is at 5.5. I'm going to up this to 6 for better steering. Disabled data log, full warning. So that's disabled because I don't check data log very much on this. Brake amount, I like them at 50%. Here's my drag brake. So drag brake, this one I run at 10%. Drag brake ramp, disabled. So what's the ramp? When I'm unsure about something, you can click the question mark. Disabled. The drag brake will increase immediately. The drag brake will increase very quickly. The drag brake will increase quickly. The drag brake will increase moderately quickly. The drag brake will increase slowly. So what I want to do is do this slow or very slow. So let's go down here. We are going to go to slow. So the drag brake's going to increase slowly so it doesn't kick right away when I let off. And then just hit update. Now it's writing my changes to it. Okay. And then we're going to go to power. Start power is at low. And if you want to see, so low, best for almost any applications and any battery type capability. Medium, good for along with high capable batteries, and high must use good quality batteries. So we're going to leave it right where it's at. Max power, 100%, which is good. Reverse percentage, I don't need a lot of reverse. So reverse, we're going to move down to 30%. Punch control is disabled. And from my understanding, to increase the punch, 100% high acceleration limiting, good for two-wheel drive or low traction surfaces and off-road. Very good setting for easy on parts style bashing. So I believe the lower the number, good for four-wheel drive, 10%. Very low acceleration limiting. 20% low acceleration, good for four-wheel drive on high traction surfaces. 25% medium-high acceleration limiting, good for two-wheel, four-wheel on medium to low traction surfaces and off-road. Okay, so it's backwards. So we're at 0 disabled. I think 25% should be good. And we're going to hit update. It's complete. Advanced settings. Here's your timing. Not going to play with that because I haven't performed a motor test. Idle data log erase. Auxiliary wire, we don't have that hooked up. Live data link, we have it. Link live enabled is disabled because we don't have that hooked up. Throttle deadband, we already calibrated it, so this is the TRAXXAS remote transmitter. This is what it saw. Let's go over to motor. Motor direction is normal. Smart sense, it's brushless. Enable sensor loss warning. Nope. Sensorless motor timing is normal. Cheat. Motor temperature cutoff is disabled. We are going to turn that on to high. Because we do have the sensor wire plugged in. Warning, the controller will not be able to cut off due to motor temperature if the sensor wire is not properly connected. Okay, but it is properly connected. So I have it set to 210 degrees Fahrenheit so I don't melt the motor. Update. And I know that is high, but it's better to have a high cutoff than no cutoff. Usually when you start getting into, 170, 180, you'll start causing motor damage. Update setting complete. Okay. And then we're going to go over to logging. Samples, automatic data reset. We want this to automatically reset at 90%. So when it hits 90% of capacity, it's automatically going to reset data. And then right now, data log capacity is full. That's because this ran in another car. So we're going to go ahead and clear data log. So we're going to erase the data that's in there. And then now at 90% right here, it's going to automatically reset so that it never fills up. So that if I do have a problem with it, the last few runs will be in there. Then we're going to update. So that if I ever have a problem with this ESC, I can at least look at data log and see if I overheated it or what happened. And that's something that I probably could do with the old Mamba Monster X, is I can plug into that and see if it recorded and if it shows me what happened when the motor failed. Update settings complete. Okay. And that's it. 6 volts. Brake 50%, drag brake, we have it set on slow so it ramps in slowly and it just doesn't apply the brakes immediately like what was happening the way I had it set it up last time. As soon as I let off, it was just applying those brakes, which in the air was creating an issue. I'm hoping by putting it on slow, it'll slow that down and I'll have more air control with still having a drag brake. And that's it. So we can go ahead and unplug this. I'll get you guys up. We'll get it disconnected and we'll get the receiver installed. We'll be right back. All right. So we're going to go ahead, get this unplugged. And I suggest everybody play with your Castle Link. It's free. Whenever you buy a Castle system, mail in the little card and or go onto their website and get the free Castle Link. Put in all your information, register it, and get the free Castle Link and play with it. Play with all these different settings. The only way you're going to learn this software is to actually hook up and use it. So get out there and use it. You're not going to hurt anything. And if you think you've done something wrong, you can always put it back to factory settings. So we want to go to channel, skip one. That's steering, skip one, and then it goes in. There we go. All right, got the two-sided tape put on the receiver, got the receiver stuck down. Now I'm grabbing some zip ties because these are the motor wires or the battery lines, but my sensor wire is a little crazy. I will be zip tying the motor wire or the sensor wire up. What I want to do is space these out. To separate these motor wires so there's no interference. A little bit of wire management is all I'm doing. And then this mess. Scissors. So I'll tie that up out of the way. Then I only have one. I don't see the fan moving. Gotta make sure that ESC fan works. Yep, it comes on and then goes off. So ESC fan is working. These two fans, I should put covers on these. I think these are the Yaw Racing fans. But we're gonna check our gyro now. Gyro's working. Check our brake. Oh, look. It's going backwards. So I gotta flip the motor direction, which sucks because now I have the box covered up. Gosh darn it, I thought I checked this already. Well, that's not good. I gotta flip the motor direction. Yep. Well, I gotta get that done now. So I gotta pull this, and that's what I don't like about tuning this way, but it's just a part of it. So I'm just gonna pop these two screws off. See if I can get at this wire right here. We're gonna hook this back up around. It's over here. We are green. It's loading. I'm just gonna switch it real quick. Motor type, motor direction, reverse, update. It's done. Okay. Now we can get it unplugged, get it plugged back in. And this is why we test. Quick little change, because I have the computer on the desk set up for tuning. Let's try this again. Fans are working, fan work stopped, steering's working, it's going the right way, brakes work, and you can see it coast, and then you hear the brake, and then it lets off. I like that. You can hear the brake come in very slowly. I might increase that a little bit, but I'm going to run it this way. Looks like it's sliding in neutral, and then the brake slowly increases, which I don't know if that's going to help me in racing. That might be too much of a delay, but I want to give it a shot. Let's make sure the gyro still works. Gyro still works. Let me turn it off and make sure it doesn't work. Gyro doesn't work. So everything's good. Everything's ready to rip now. It's all back together. Tuning's all set up in it. And there we go. That's what it takes to change out and go through an RC that's about 8 years old on its setup. Oh, I broke one of the wheelie bar wheels is gone. So I have to get some wheelie bar wheels on this. This is a wheelie bar in the back and one of the wheels are gone. And I don't know if I have another wheel. But this wheel is missing. And the screw's gone. The nut's still back there, but the screw and everything is gone. So I either got to remove the other wheel or add wheelie bar wheels, which I think I have some aluminum ones somewhere. So I'll have to take a look for that. But definitely drag brake is mainly for crawlers, that kind of stuff. But I tend to use it on the bashers. Now here's my biggest thing. Not on bashers, I should say. But on any race buggy or RC you have, Castle is the way to go. Any kind of drag RC, I feel Castle is the way to go for tuning. There are some other softwares out there now and other like Tekin motors that have drag specific software, and that's okay too. But they're kind of expensive. So low budget, Castle's the way to go for drag racing, to set in power curves, all that kind of stuff. I feel Castle is very good for all on-road stuff, any kind of race stuff. Now, when it comes to a basher, if you're just going to send it off a jump or that kind of stuff, for me, Hobby Wing's the way to go. Because you don't really need to tune your send-it RCs, your bashers, and to spend all that money on a Castle and Castle Link and set it up and tuning and all that stuff. Hobby Wing does enough for a basher. You don't need to data log it. But something like this, where you're going to be racing with your family members, whether it's brother, sister, cousin, son, daughter, even if, you know, you just want to horse around, you want to race this thing and you want to dial it in, and for a beginner, I feel this is the way to go. But slash is all back together. Make sure our body still fits. And now this RC is ready to rip again. It's been several years since I've refreshed this RC. It served me really good. Now I want to get out and I'm going to let my son tune on his, get his slash a little bit more dialed, get him on the bench, see about maybe upgrading his wheel hexes or whatever he wants to do for his slash, because he has upgraded, I think, Hobby Wing system in his. So there's a few things that he can do to make his a little better. We're going to go out there and we're going to race each other and have some fun with some slashes. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.